It's Monday, January 21st, and we already squatted this morning. Squatted pretty heavy this morning, had a real good squat workout. Now we're doing high pulls plus hang snatches. Then we're going to do snatches, hang above the knee after that, and then in clean and jerk, we're going to do clean pulls plus hang clean, and then cleans from the hang above the knee. As you guys can see, James has his head shaved now. He shaved that earlier today. He was a good sport. He vowed to shave his head if he snatched 140, and what do you know, the very next day he did. Maybe that was the motivation he needed. We really had a pretty overall good workout today. You see the guys, everybody's still just warming up, but you know, Travis lifted pretty dang good. Chris Goot lifted pretty good. Several people attempted PRs. A couple people made them. Wasn't one of those overwhelming training sessions where just everybody makes a PR, but it was a good hard session, and I was real happy with that. Just basically because everybody squatted so hard this morning. A lot of times when you have a kind of an extra hard squat session, you don't get quite as good a lifting the next day. But here's Mike Zella. I think this was a PR for him, 118. He seems to be doing almost all of his exercises at this point right up around his max snatch, which right now is 122. I think he's made 120 or 121 with a pause at the knee, and then you saw there 118 with a high pull and then a hang snatch. And whenever somebody starts doing that, you know, hitting all the different variations right up around what their, you know, very close to what their snatch maximum is, they're usually set to make a PR. And I think that I would expect Mike to hit a few more kilos here pretty soon. The one you just saw Travis do, 141, was actually a PR, and then he went for 145 there and missed it. You see, those are pretty close. He's getting it high enough, just not quite in the right spot. This actually ties John's PR in this exercise, 150. Kind of funny, he made this one pretty easy, and it really looked to me like he had more, but he's got a definite mental block above that. Here's 131 and a miss. That would have been a PR. Same 131. Close. Held it for a second. Here's 156. This has been a mental block for John for a long time because 155 was my maximum on this weight back in the day, and I think 155 is also Donnie Schenkel's maximum on this exercise. And so John can hit 50 like it's you know, like it's a lightweight, put 56 on, and he just runs into it. I really think it's kind of a mental block. I'm sure he'll get it soon enough, though. He's definitely capable. And Travis has moved on to hangs above the knee. Let's say you saw John just kind of almost bouncing it off his knee there and not really pulling it up his leg, but letting it get in front of him. He tends to do that sometimes when he does the powers above the knee, and I got to tell you the truth, I really don't like it when he does that. It makes it really easy for him at weights like 120 or maybe even 130, but when the weights start to get heavy, it pulls him forward every time. He needs to push it back and follow his thigh up a little more. But it's just one of those things that, you know, it makes a lightweight easier, but you can't do it with a heavyweight. And here's 130. Let's see if he does this quite as much as he did the other one. No, you can see he pushed that bar back into his hip a little bit more on that one. As long as he adjusts on the heavy weight, I don't really mind if he does it with the light ones. But when you do it so much on lighter weights that that form carries over the heavier weights, you start to run into trouble. So I gotta say, I wish he wouldn't do it at all. But I can't complain too much about how John snatches, though. John's best here with 140 is actually 4. He's gone for a set of 5 with 140. Excuse me, several times. He's never quite been able to make it. And I think the first 2 were easy, so he decided to go for 5 and only got 3. That's still pretty good, though.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike.
You might notice sometimes when you watch Mike jerk, that left arm breaks just a little bit. There he's doing it in snatch. He tends to raise the right side of his shoulder girdle a little bit more than the left. And anytime you don't raise your shoulder girdle when you receive the bar, you're prone to an arm breaking on that side. And by breaking, I don't mean surgery breaking. I just mean the elbows coming unlocked. One thing you could really see on that lift, and if we see Mike do another one of these, you might look for. You see those shoulders, how they're kind of uneven when he receives the bar? Look at how straight the bar comes off his hip. Straight up. Mike really reminds me of some of the better Chinese lifters, the way he does that. That bar follows his leg beautifully. And when he extends his hips, the bar barely goes forward at all. It just comes straight up. I'll tell you, the technical progress he's made is really incredible in the last 4 months. I think you're going to see his hands come off there. He's actually taking his hands off on purpose. He's got a pretty sore wrist, and purposefully cleaning with the hands coming off the bar keeps it from aggravating his wrist, lets him still practice the clean a little bit. That's 150. His PR in that exercise, I believe, is 153. So Chris actually did a pretty dang good lift there. There's 170 for John. See, I think Jess definitely was a little bit forward in that pull, but that's quite a bit away from her max, so it didn't really take her out of position too bad. This is a 180 for Travis. This is a PR for him. This is a heck of a good lift. I believe that Travis's best competition gleaner jerk is 87 or 88. His best in practice is 91. James, pretty frustrated today doing the pull and then the clean. He is not good at those at all. They pull him forward, and he just has a real hard time cleaning the bar. So by the time he got to that second exercise, he wasn't a happy camper. This is 160. I think the 150 was so easy that Chris decided to go straight to 160 and try to make a huge PR. And didn't quite work out for him. I always try to get the guys, I always tell them, if you make 50, if 53 is your PR, no matter how good you feel, go 54 or 55 first. Get your PR. Then jump to the moon. Take as big a jump as you want to. But get that 1 or 2 kilo PR first. Not to say that they always listen. Now, this is 185. And Caleb's PR in this is 184, which he made last week. As you can see, the clean wasn't too much of a problem. But the jerk just doesn't quite lock out on his right arm. See how straight that bar path is? And obviously he couldn't stand up with that, so that was obviously a heavy weight, but regardless of how heavy it was, he really just pulled it perfectly. It's another try at 160. Here's John trying to beat Travis. I hate to say it, but it's not going to happen. But
Go,
he got the
dig it
clean.
out now.
That's not too bad for him. But as often happens with John, you know, when he has those really hard cleans, there's not a lot left for the jerk. Here's Travis going for 85. And this, I think, is a PR. Just cleaning it is a PR. Now, he's cleaned 192 from the floor, 195 off blocks. But to do a pulled and a hang clean, I believe his best is 180. And he makes the 185. And promptly gets dizzy as can be. This is actually, I think, a better clean than the first time, but he's still not quite going to make that jerk. And once you do that, you're almost never going to make it the second time. It's probably smarter to just put it down. But, you know, people want to go for it. They always, you know, you got a shot at making it, I guess. Just not a very good one. Funny thing about James, and here's Travis going for back down to 182 to try to increase his PR by a couple of kilos.
Come on, Travis, head through now.
He actually hit the floor on that one. I don't know why he was getting dizzy, but he's still not very steady. Took him a few seconds to recover from that. I actually thought Chris was going to make this. He came up with the clean so much better than the first time he tried it. I thought he'd have enough left for the jerk. And as you can see, he locks it out, but he just can't hold it. This isn't a bad lift here. It's an improvement. She's still knocking the bar too far forward, but she's getting her shoulders back a little bit better. I was happy with this. And a nice jerk for Jess. Couldn't have done that jerk too much better. I tell you what, given that we had, you know, one of the hardest squat workouts that we've had this training cycle, I cannot complain about the training at all. It went pretty good. We had 5 or 6 PRs attempted. I think 3 or 4 PRs made. You gotta be happy with that when you spend the morning in a heavy squatting session and come back in the afternoon to put in that kind of a workout. Pretty good job.